Sande Charles with FanRag Sports, joined by Giants prospect Jonah Arenado. Jonah, what's it like being in the Giants organization?
I don't know, it's a lot of respect. You get a lot of respect for being in the Giants organization. They have obviously the record speaks for itself, and the players that they have on their team are class acts. So just being associated with the Giants, I mean, you get that extra respect from everyone else, knowing that you do things the right way out here.
Now, a lot of people might not know, but your brother does play for the Rockies, third base. I did talk to him a couple weeks ago, and he says he gives you a lot of advice. What's some things that he's told you?
He's told me that my journey is different than his. He told me obviously there's gonna be a lot of tough times in baseball, and just try to grind through. And that's the hardest part obviously about baseball, is the grind and dealing with the slumps and stuff like that. So obviously when I'm going well, I don't talk to him as much about the game because I feel like I'm doing the right things. But when I'm struggling, I give him a call and we talk about it, and he tries to help me as much as he can, and he does. So.
Talk a little bit, in the off season, your whole family went to Cuba. What was that experience like?
Oh man, it was out of this world. It was amazing. It was incredible to see my family that hasn't been back since 50 years. My grandma that hasn't been back in 53, 55 years, something like that. It was emotional for them, but it was a great trip, and it gave some perspective about how lucky we are to live in the United States and stuff like that. So it was amazing.
Now, your dad is Cuban. Tell me, how was that experience, that whole thing with him, just going back, and how father-son bonding?
He was just kind of like, we would see some things like some of the kids playing in the street with worn out shoes and a worn out soccer ball or worn out bat and baseball, and he's like, this is it. This is how we grew up. And my dad was there for I think only like 7 years, so he only had that for a little while. But to see some of the things, the old school cars, the old school buildings, all that. I mean, he's just telling us like, this is it, man. Like like you're blessed to have we grew up blessed, and I'm fortunate enough to have a good life so far. So to see how some of the people live out there, it definitely gives me perspectives about how lucky I am.
Thank you so much. For Jonah, I'm Sande Charles with FanRag Sports.